Cheatham driving, gets it up, ball's loose, tipped, Nova Southeastern, national champions again!
What a story, what a finish. The Nova Southeastern University Sharks, once again, kings of Division II basketball. The team clinched another national championship and a 74-73 nail-biter to cap a 36-1 season. Wow, that's almost a perfect season, Coach Jim Crutchfield, but it had a perfect ending, didn't it?
Well, you know, it didn't feel perfect at the time. It was kind of tense, but yeah, it was. You know, when you win a championship like that, it's a great feeling.
It has to be. Our person of interest is the head coach of the Sharks, Jim Crutchfield. Welcome to Miami Life. And I saw you watching that clip intently, and it's almost like you were wondering, man, is that shot going to go in this time?
Yeah, because obviously, you know, the year before we experienced the other end of that. Mm-hmm. A guy made a tougher shot, you know, from the corner, and it was a shot that he had to change the trajectory. And when he shot it, I thought, there's no way that ball's going in. We're going to overtime. But it went in.
Yeah.
What was that old ABC, the agony of defeat? That's what we experienced that. And this is the other end of it right here.
Yeah, and what a thrill it is for you and your players. And certainly, you can really tell how close-knit this team is. Tell me about this team and what made it special.
You know, I mean, the two guys holding the trophy there have been around for years. You know, the one guy his college is different now. They stick around a little bit longer. They have red shirt years and COVID years, and some of the guys I'd had for 6 years. But, you know, they bonded well as a team, and I think it carries over. I think guys that are good off the court together are good on the court together. And in today's landscape, sometimes it's tough to get that type of camaraderie where the team is the focus, not an individual. And with these guys, the team was the focus.
And that's so important. What has this done for the schools in general?
I think Nova Southeastern was kind of an incredible academic university that no one really was aware of. And I think it's increased the awareness of the school. I mean, there's some great things going on. You know, probably health sciences and things like that at our university are huge. But, you know, they're not the front porch sometimes to university, but a basketball program can be.
Sure.
And, you know, all of a sudden you're live on CBS in front of a million people, and people see the basketball team, and sometimes they say, well, what's this school all about? And the further they investigate, you find out it's a great institution.
Yeah, in fact, I've been there to the robotics lab, and some of the things that are happening there are just really phenomenal. Talk to me about college basketball. You know, I covered sports for a long, long time. The landscape is so different now. NIL has just really changed the game, and frankly, sometimes I wonder if it's changed it in a good way. What do you think?
From a coaching standpoint, it's in a bad way. You know, if you ask I haven't heard one coach say, boy, I like this new NIL structure, you know, where we're giving players money, and I have to choose which player gets amount of money. Now, there's some players that are liking it. I don't
blame them.
I don't blame them either. You know, all of a sudden you see how much money. I'm shocked at the amount of money that's going through, and now it's not just, you know, some players getting $1 million. It's become widespread. The number of players getting $100,000, $200,000, $500,000.
And to be clear, it's not just D1 players getting it, it's also players at Division II.
It's trickled down to D2, and sometimes it's trickled down in a matter of D2 schools are starting to give small NIL offers, but also D2 schools are losing their players to NIL to small D1s. And 2 years ago, we won the national championship, and I'm in the locker room with our players, and I have 4 starters coming back. They're screaming, we're coming back next year. And I thought we might be. 2 weeks later, they were gone. Right. All, you know, and to major universities.
So are they still student athletes, or are they athlete students now?
We don't talk a lot about academics anymore. I hate to say that, but a lot of these transfers, academics doesn't really enter into the picture. I rarely hear anybody say, because that also is a better academic situation for me. I know that's not the way it should be, but these guys in the portal and the amount of money, and the NIL deal comes first, athletics comes first, academics is on the back burner.
I saw something in the Washington Post not long ago, a small school, St. Francis, that was Division I for many years, and they decided, we give up. We're going from D1 to D3, no scholarships, no NIL, but their rationale was that, you know what, this is really taking us back to what the student-athlete experience is supposed to be. Do you worry sometimes that it's skewed too far the other direction, that these kids who are playing collegiate sports are losing that collegiate experience?
A little bit, yes. And they're also moving from school to school so fast that you don't have that identity with the student body, where it's not someone you see in class for 4 years, and they're no longer part of the student body. They're kind of hired guns that have come in to win basketball or football games. But I think the college experience for them is different than maybe you experienced or I experienced a couple years ago. I think you're right. It hasn't changed the experience, but some would say for them it's for the better. I've seen some of the deals these guys have signed, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah, makes you want to see if you got some eligibility left to play again, huh? Well, listen, you've done a fantastic job with them, and we've got the hardware here to prove it. Where's this trophy going to go at school, by the way?
I don't know. I'm not much of a trophy guy. I don't give out awards myself. So I see they have a big glass case when you come into the coaching area. It'll sit in there somewhere, but that's a piece of hardware. Our guys got memories that are much more valuable.
Absolutely, and you are certainly a big part of that. Coach, congratulations again.
Thank you, Jim.
Jim Crutchfield, and we look forward to you coming back and celebrating the next time you win it.
I hope you're right.
All righty.